All right, I've got 10 o'clock on the dot, so let's get started. And we've got, okay. Hola a todos, bienvenidos a nuestro Real Talk about Real Estate para septiembre. Estoy hablando en español porque tenemos hoy un invitado especial y también ese es un mes especial. Del 15 de septiembre al 15 de octubre es el mes de la herencia hispana. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the September Real Talk about Real Estate. My name is Michelle, and I'm the marketing lead for the ABR designation. My first introduction was in Spanish because September 15th through October 15th is Hispanic Heritage Month, and we are pleased to have Gonzalo Mejia joining us today to help celebrate. Gonzalo is the team leader for Dream Home Team, Watson Realty Corp, and he'll be sharing the benefits of networking and how to evaluate market trends. As a reminder, we are live, so if you have any questions or just want to say hi, leave us a like or comment on the video. Take it away, Gonzalo.
Awesome. Well, good morning, Michelle. Nice to see you. Thank you for the little Spanish intro. Your Spanish is really good, and really good pronunciation. So, yeah, really excited. It's Hispanic Heritage Month. So, you know, what a coincidence, me being Hispanic, being here. So it worked out just fine. We didn't plan it, but, you know, it was.
We didn't. It worked out.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be. But, well, good morning, everybody. So always glad to be here, share some experiences, you know, share some knowledge so we all can be better. So what we're going to talk about is how to stay relevant in a changing market. So a few things to keep in mind. I would say that the number one thing is you need to know your numbers. You need to know what's going on in your market as a professional. You see, what I sometimes, you know, it's easy to say, oh, well, it is a seller's market. And I'm thinking, you know, if somebody doesn't know that, we're in trouble. Our consumers know that. Buyers know that. So what can we provide as real estate professionals to really add value to that information? So what I will say is you need to know what's going on in your specific markets, like things that you want to keep track of. Inventory. Inventory is a huge indicator of how the market is doing. We all say it. What's the problem right now? We have a low inventory. So we know what's going on. So you need to know, is this changing? Because you know, I get the chance to, you know, connect with agents all over the US, and they're telling me market is changing. And I can see it in my market. I know you see in many of your markets. Now, some of your markets might not be changing. Who is supposed to know? You are supposed to know. You are the expert. Days on the market, another great indicator. The longer the houses take to sell, that means that the market is slowing down. Median sales price, and this is important because affordability is becoming an issue. With prices going up as much as they have gone up in the last year or so, you know, we need to know what's going on with pricing. New listings, how many properties are coming up for sale, which is going to affect the inventory. And pending sales, you know, how much things are selling. Those are indicators that we need to keep track in every market, but especially as the market is shifting, like we are dealing with right now. Like, for example, this is a chart that I do myself. Like, I keep track of this myself. I have an alarm on my phone that every Monday, 9 a.m., my job is to go to my MLS and run some numbers and see what happened the week before. And I put them in little Excel spreadsheet. If you don't know how to use Excel, just go to YouTube and say how to use Excel. Trust me, plenty of videos for that. It ain't that complicated. But I mean, I found this information great because this is something that I can show buyers. It's not just telling them, but really showing information. And especially when you have those buyers, you know, who are engineers, accountants, you know, people, you know, in financing, they love to see charts. They love to see numbers, okay? I'm an engineer, so I can tell you, I'm a cool one, but I'm an engineer. So I think it is great, you know, to have resources that you can put in front of them. And I use this when I meet customers. And when you start giving specific numbers, it really highlights the fact that you know what you're talking about. So it's just not, you know, general information that anybody can read online. But when you can say, hey, yeah, this is what is going on in my market right now. This is what's going on with your listings. And I've been using this, and buyers and sellers both like really get impressed when you know your stuff. So keep track a lot of that. And this is going to help us to set up expectations. What buyers can expect in today's market, like what to do. And it is a tough market for buyers in most markets. And it's not about like, well, let me tell you how horrible this is going to be. Like, this is going to be a pain in the butt. You're going to suffer. But you don't want to, create a negative energy. But at the same time, you really have to talk about what is going to come, how the process is going to work. What at least my experience has been is that many times transactions fall through after you got a contract for a buyer, because a buyer or a seller didn't expect something to happen and create so much frustration that they're unwilling to find a solution because they didn't see it coming. So they feel like, oh, that was not fair. Like, what is that happen? Oh, no, I'm not going to do it anymore. Tell them that if it's not this way, I'm not going to do it. Because in their head, they had, this is how it's supposed to be. And when things don't happen that way, then they feel it's not fair. So setting up expectation with buyers, telling them, what might be coming. And then, for example, inspections. How many buyers we have that, go and say, okay, I found the house, then they do the home inspection. And in today's market, what I'm finding is that, for example, many buyers think, hey, if I'm going to pay top dollar for the property, then I want the property to be in perfect shape. Like, they feel entitled. Like, this, I'm paying so much that it has to be my way. I already gave up so much by paying, above even listing price. So many contracts fall through, I think, during the inspection period, because buyers have, unrealistic expectations of what's coming up. And this is something that I love. Actually, this is one of the benefits of being an ABR. You have this one sheet that it talks about, what is acceptable when asking repairs. Now, I don't tell, buyers what to do, what not to do, but it's educating them. Like, for example, something that I will mention buyers as we start the process during the buyer's consultation is, if we find deficiency with the property that will stop you from purchasing it, then, we can address that with the seller. And I make it clear, it has to be things that you really feel, unless this is corrected, doesn't make sense to buy this property. Because I let them know where the job of the inspector is to give you a long list. You guys have seen it, those inspection reports. It's like, a very long book many times. So it is how to read that report. So I do love this sheet, because you can give it to a buyer and start having those conversations and be like, hey, let's be fair. Because at the end of the day, we want them to buy the house because they want to buy a house, not just because, we want to complete a transaction, because we want to help them. So setting up those expectations are key. Now, multiple offers, and we hear that about a lot. Yeah, we hear a lot about multiple offers in today's market. I get it. So something that I think is important to mention to buyers in today's market regarding multiple offers is this part of the code of ethics. It surprises me how many agents don't know about this. I hope that's not the case for the majority of you, but no. So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna cover because of our code of ethics, Article 1, Standard of Practice 1-15, sellers do not have the obligation to tell buyers that there are multiple offers. Sellers have zero obligation to tell a buyer, hey, by the way, I have multiple offers in case you want to up yours. Many sellers do. It's very common in today's market, but sellers don't have to. Now, why this is important? Because I tell buyers that, hey, if you are going to submit an offer right now, be aware that the seller doesn't have to tell us that there are other offers. The seller doesn't have to give you the option to improve your offer. This offer you are sending right now might be the only offer that the seller will ever see from you. You decide what to do, but be aware that, you might not have the chance to negotiate. Because, sometimes, people like to watch TV. People like to watch, TV shows like, no offense, $1 million listing, HGTV, and they come into a transaction with an impression of, oh, well, in TV, or like I read, or my cousin bought a house 5 years ago, and it was their experience. So that's the way it's supposed to be. And again, they don't know how many buyers we have who think that they will have the chance to negotiate. And in other markets, it might be more common. In today's market, it's less common. So again, it is setting up those expectations in the beginning, especially when it comes to multiple offers, and that they exist. Okay. This is another great resource that I love. This is another one sheet that we have available where you can share with your buyer regarding multiple offers and things to keep in mind. And I tell you, I do love the one sheets because one is something that the buyer can take away with them. So it's how many, buyer's consultations can be quite long, depending on the buyer. And there is so much information thrown at the buyer in the beginning, and especially when it's a first-time home buyer. I mean, like, right. We all remember when we bought our first house, and so to be able to give them something to take away, it helps and reinforces what is being presented. And there is a power on something being in writing, opposite to you just telling them. Okay, totally. And like, it's not yet I'm telling you, but hey, it isn't. It is in writing, so it must be true.
And you can customize it in the print shop too, so it can have your contact information on it.
Yes, and I do. Like I have my home buyers booklets, and I have them.
Toolkit?
Oh yeah, with my picture, my contact information. Yeah,
perfect.
If I'm gonna be giving thousands away, I want to remember who gave it to them.
Totally.
So yeah, oh yeah, I'm all about giving information to the customer, but I wanted to remember, hey, I'm the one who gave it to you. So whenever you're ready to make the move, you always remember to come back to me. So customization, yeah, that is great. Understanding financing, I think it's important to have conversations with buyers regarding financing. There is, and Michelle and I were chatting yesterday about, there is so much stigma in certain markets, especially regarding FHA, VA financing. And it is sellers, but it also is agents. So I think as agents, we really need to understand, the different types of financing. And Michelle, we have a class for that coming up.
We do. It's coming up next week.
Yeah, so it is a full day class, and they can still register for it, I believe so.
I'm sorry? They can still register, yeah. So actually, the early bird deadline was extended to this Friday, and we could put a link to the course, after we're done here. It's called Mortgage and Finance for Buyers Reps, and it's being held next Friday. It's a live virtual course, and be one of the first to take it. It's going to be really cool, really helpful. So thanks for bringing that up.
Oh, no. I tell you, that is so important. And something that it's since the beginning of my real estate career, and, I've been in the business, how long now? 17 years, because back then you go get your license at 12. And being involved in the financing, understanding financing, I also have saved me so much time because I'm able to have conversation with buyers, recognize red flags. How many times we have worked with buyers, and when I started, I didn't do this. In even the buyers consultations, and how many times we work with buyers, even we got them under contract, and then the contract falls through because of financing. And there were things that we could have noticed, conversation that we could have had with those buyers early on to avoid that. So even though we do not do the financing as real estate professionals, it is such an important part of the transaction that we really need to get involved and get to know more about that. But at the end of the day, everything goes down to having all this knowledge to be able to present it to the buyer. And, as an instructor, and a practitioner, I get to meet with a lot of buyers, sellers, and agents. And something that I've been doing the last year, especially when I meet with groups of agents, I ask them, do you believe that the average consumer thinks that we are overpaid? And the answer is yes. The average consumer thinks that we are overpaid. And I ask them, how many of you think that you are overpaid? And I say, no, which proves that there is a disconnection. There is a disconnection between what we do and what the customer believes we do. And that is a problem. And who is supposed to fix that? Actually, it's on us. It is on us to be able to showcase our value to these buyers. Because if they think that we're being overpaid, they're not going to be willing to sign a buyer brokerage agreement, because they're going to say, what am I gonna commit to pay you if I don't see the benefit back to me? So when you get all this knowledge, when you present this information, it's so much easier. And that's why buyer's consultation is something that I always do. And they will come to my office, we'll sit down, and that is my time to shine and share information, show them, hey, this is what you need me. This is how I'm gonna help you. And then it's easier then to say, and this is our commitment to work together. Nobody's gonna give you something unless they feel they're gonna get something in return. It is just as simple as that. And this is another one that I love. This one is another benefit, and is what can your agent do for you? Because, and I've been saying this for years, I blame HGTV on this one. I'm sorry, but a lot of people think that we as agents, we only do two things. Okay, this is what real estate agents do. One is this: we open the door, and then we stand in the middle of the living room, and I say, "Here it is," and we smile. Okay, and that's what I think we do. We show houses, people buy them, and then we just make lots of money, and we drive cars, company cars, because I've been told that oh, your company gave you a nice car, and like, yeah, sure, yeah. But again, this is because we haven't spent the time as real estate practitioners telling our customers, hey, this is what we're gonna do for you. This is what we do. And that is, where really the difference comes, and it is showing your value. So I think, all these things that we're talking about, especially in a changing market, is because we are in an online world where the general public believes that all the information that they need is going to be online. And whatever they read online, it is all that they need. So this is our time we'll say, like, hey, online resources are great, but there is a value of having me. A website cannot help you the way I can help you. So we need to present all that information out there. But I mean, that's mainly what I wanted to share most. I think there are other things that we want to talk about.
Yeah, if anyone wants to leave a comment, oh, hi, Tamara. Tamara's watching too. Well, I think you brought up the mortgage and finance course, which, like I said, that's happening next week, and there's still time to register for. Another thing that I know everyone in this group is already an ABR designee, but Gonzalo actually helped work on the course update, which just launched. So if you're interested, you're like, I haven't taken the ABR course in quite a while, and I, probably could benefit from, Gonzalo's input on the new course. You can find out how to take the course on our website on abr.realtor. And you can also find a course in your area on trainingferrari.com. But yeah, I mean, even if you took the ABR course last year, I mean, there's always stuff to learn. We always, Center for Realtor Development, we're always encouraging you to continue learning, because there's always more knowledge you can gain, more skills to gain. So, I think, yeah, the ABR course is it's even better than ever. So thank you to Gonzalo for his help on that. So you can.
I would like to tell Michelle, even as an instructor, I learned so much just by being there in a group with other practitioners, and the stories that are shared, and and the experiences and suggestions. So I think just going to the class, I mean, you get not only the knowledge, but you get to interact with other people who are committed to buyer representation. I pick so much out of seeing it. That's what I love doing it. It's like, okay, I get the opportunity to get paid, to talk to agents, to learn from there as much as they learn from me. So it is perfect. So you haven't come into the ABR class in a while, or like I say, even last year. I mean, it's changed around 20%. So from last year, and 2 years before, we have changed some already. So it is always evolving. We always try to make it better. always try to keep it current.
Yeah, and the other thing that I wanted to bring up too was obviously we're all here in the ABR Facebook group, and Gonzalo was talking about really showing your value, and sometimes that does take some extra work, but it always pays off. And something we were talking about yesterday was the referrals that are available in this Facebook group. How he was telling me, so many great things about all the referrals he's gotten from the group.
Oh yeah, I tell you, it probably, this ABR Facebook group is one of my, Facebook group with the most referrals opportunities. But it takes work. You have to be engaged. You have to be there. I mean, you're not just gonna join the group and wait that somebody's gonna message you and say, hey, do you sell houses in Jacksonville, Florida? No, that's not happening. So it is being there. And I was mentioning, I mean, we closed, a $450,000 a transaction last month from an ABR referral. And I know some of your markets, 450 doesn't sound like a lot, or average or median sales price is like around, 280, 300 here. So for us is, very decent. Tomorrow, I have some buyers coming into town. That is another ABR referral. And this is just in the last 2 months. So it is, but you have to participate. You have to be there and connect with other agents. So it is, if for me, with all the one sheets, probably the number one benefit that I get out of being ABR, and I always say, when I get my email of, renew your Reback membership, and it's like, please give me a credit card, I don't even question, and it's, I don't even look at the price. It's like, here is my credit card, charge me, because I do not want to lose this. I don't want to lose my Facebook group and all the benefit that come with it.
Thank you. I'd love to hear that. So I think that you gave us some good tips, and I hope everyone checks out the one sheets in the member center at abr.realtor. And as a reminder, you can customize those and include those in your presentation. So any questions? I see there is a website question, which I will be sure to put all the websites in the comments after we wrap up here. And if there aren't any other questions, I would like to thank you, Gonzalo, so much, and everyone for joining us. I hope you learned a lot about providing value in today's market, the updated ABR course, and our new Reback elective course. Please join us next month on October 20th with Shannon Buss. And muchas gracias and hasta luego.
Adios, muchas gracias. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.